Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your co-host, Seth Greene. Today, it is my good fortune to be interviewing Cheryl Mason. Sherry, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Seth. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, let's go back in time just a little bit. How did you get started?
I got started. I'm just a little girl from Appalachia. I grew up in Southern Ohio, and I'm the daughter of a government teacher. She believed that I could do and be anything I wanted. She told me that. So I went forth and did. And I went to college, and after college, met and married my husband, who happened to be in the Air Force. So that gave me a few challenges with law school and careers, things like that. But I managed to build a career, support my husband, have a family. Along the way of building my career, I climbed the ladder to the first politically appointed Senate-confirmed woman of the chief executive chairman of the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs Board of Veterans Appeals. And I held that position for 5 years. I led people first. We hit results out of the park. I was told I was doing it wrong, but we seem to have succeeded. When I retired, everybody was like, you have to write a book about where you came from and what you did. So here I am.
Here you are. I'm sure the longer version of that story is probably in the book. Tell us a little bit about the book.
So the book is called Dare to Relate. It's right there over my shoulder. Dare to Relate, Leading with a Fierce Heart. And it talks about my background growing up in Appalachia as the daughter of a Navy World War II veteran who died by suicide, and then what that was like. And then moving on to college and then marrying someone in the Air Force, my life changed because the Air Force at that time did not really support spouses having careers. It was a no-no. And I did it anyway. So the book talks about those early life challenges because life does give you challenges. So then the question is, what do you do with it? Do you go become invisible and hide in the corner, or do you use those as opportunities and stepping stones to become who you're meant to be? And that's what the rest of the book is about. I use them as opportunities to develop into the leader that I was meant to be, that really teaches and invests in others around me, supports them to become strong employees, strengthen the organization, but also to become leaders themselves and make an impact and a difference.
That makes a lot of sense. How has the book been received?
Very well. It's been out for about 3 months. We're in July, so maybe 4. I did a little bit of a book tour in Ohio, DC area, and North Carolina, here where I live, and it was very well received. It's got 5 stars on Amazon, so people seem to like it. I'm getting book reviews that are very positive, so we'll take that. And then I've kicked off my speaking career from that as well, talking about how leaders and employees can figure out how to meet in the middle and support and bring their organizations successful outcomes.
Awesome. So what do you think are some of the biggest reasons why we're doing it wrong? What are some of the biggest mistakes that we're making as leaders, and how can you help us fix them?
Well, I think one of the biggest mistakes leaders make, and it doesn't matter which organization you're in, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're in a large corporation, leaders feel like things should, after the pandemic, should return to normal, whatever normal is. And on top of that, there's different generations coming into the workforce. So there's a lot of things happening. Well, they want to, a lot of leaders say, well, it's the new generation, it's the pandemic, it's this. But all these things were happening before. The pandemic did hit the gas pedal. That's for sure. And so all those things kind of hit us at once. And so leaders are really trying to navigate through that and figure out what the crap happened, right? Why is everything so different? And the key is really engaging, connecting, and talking to your people. And it doesn't matter if you have 10 or 2,000. How you engage and listen to those people is going to strengthen your organization, because I'm here to tell you, your employees know the answer and they can help you get there.
That is awesome. How do we bring that out of them?
Oh, well, it really is about engaging with them. When I first became the chief executive of my organization, I'm in the federal government here. It's a different world. And one of the things I started doing this was pre-pandemic, was I started walking around. And my employees were freaked out about it. They were like, wait, what's happening? Why is she down here? What's happening? And I was confronted on it. They're like, you're checking on us. You're interrupting our work. You're checking on us. So, well, I probably am interrupting your work, but I'm not checking on you. I'm checking in with you. Because if I'm up there in my office, you're not going to come and talk to me and tell me things that you're concerned about. You're not going to give me your ideas, your suggestions. I'm not going to know anything unless it trickles up, which things don't generally trickle up. And so it took a minute, but they got there. And really, some of the greatest ideas we had in the organization that resulted in doubling our output, bringing in new technology, changing our procedures, came from those walkarounds, from engagement with people, because they knew and they wanted the opportunity to try it out, but nobody was listening until me.
Well, congratulations on figuring that out and on being the one who listens. What do you say to the business owner who says, no, you don't understand our people are different, that's not going to work here?
I'd say take the chance and see, because I've raised an engineer. I'm married to an engineer. I worked with lawyers and judges, a couple of whom were engineers and scientists. People are very different in every world, whether they're computer people, whether they're scientists, whether they're teachers. Everybody's different, but they all want to feel like they matter to the leader and they matter to the organization. And when you engage and connect with them, whether it's virtually, whether it's in person, whether it's just giving them the opportunity to talk to a leader, even if it's not the CEO, one of the senior leaders, they feel like somebody's listening and they're valued and they're invested in. And that makes a huge difference, regardless of the type of work you have.
I would imagine that is 100% accurate. So I know you talked about the book coming out and the speaking engagements. What else can business owners and leaders get from you? Do you have a process where you do coaching or consulting, or they can work with you? Tell me a little bit more about the rest of the business, if there is one.
There is. It's called Catalyst Leadership Management, and its management is MGMT shortened. And so they can connect with me online on my website. That's catalystleadershipmgmt.com. And I do offer consulting to leaders, to organizations, to teams. I offer, consulting, training with your teams. I recently engaged with a mid-sized company who asked me to talk and chat with a couple of their senior leaders about kind of how things were going. And really the company wanted some outside validation, but it enabled the company to go back to the senior leader and say, look, we like you, but you've got to change how you're interacting with your people because your division is in trouble. So that's what I do.
That sounds like a beautiful thing when it works. You've achieved so much success in your previous career and now helping others become better leaders. What's your biggest challenge now?
My biggest challenge is really adjusting to this world. It's a much different world than getting up at 5:30 in the morning and driving to work in downtown Washington, D.C. and working 50 plus 60-hour weeks. And it's much, much more engaging with different people across a lot of different spheres, but also letting people know that I'm available and that they can connect with me and I can offer these services. When I was in the federal government, people always would reach out and engage with me about these things. But, I was a federal employee, so it was a little different than it is in my own business. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is really getting out there, letting people know I'm around, that I'm available, I'm here to talk, I'm here to help. Because when it comes down to the bottom line, we all want to have purpose, impact, and value.
Absolutely. Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
I just really like meeting all sorts of different people and engaging with them. Everyone I talk to is like, this is amazing. This is fascinating. We need to find out more. I'm like, yes, let's find out more. Let's share more. Let's do more, because it really is up to us to help and change the direction of where we're going. And it can be done. And I think it will make organizations more successful. And again, it doesn't matter on the type of organizations. I work with nonprofits, I work with small corporations, I work with government, and everything in between.
Well, that sounds awesome. For our folks who are watching and listening and want to learn more, where is the best place for us to send them to learn more about you and, of course, to get the book?
Well, they can always get the book on Amazon, Dare to Relate, Leading with a Fierce Heart by Cheryl L. Mason. They can learn more about me at my website, catalystleadershipmgmt.com. They can also follow me on LinkedIn under Sherry Mason, and there's a little parentheses, Cheryl Mason, because I, go by two different identities. So.
All right. Well, we greatly appreciate your time. We know it's incredibly valuable. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Sherry Mason. The book is Dare to Relate. Sherry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Seth. This has been fantastic. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.